Friends, yesterday we briefly looked at the concept of waste. We also looked at the relationship between waste and climate change. Today we'll go a little closer to what is called waste and look at the ways and means of dealing with it. Let us begin. Let me begin by calling your attention to a common sight we all still see in most places during the morning time. A fellow is walking down with a plastic carry bag in hand. It's quite clear that he is carrying domestic waste in that bag and is looking for a suitable place to dump it. Haven't you seen it? Maybe a river, a canal, a vacant plot, even a vacant place on the by the side of the road with some bushes. He quietly throws it and walks back like I don't know what. A fool, I must say, because he has committed an absolutely silly mistake. No, it's a crime. He has thrown the waste in a public place. What now? Just think about the harm that the waste he threw can do to the environment. It can lay there for many days, become smelly, spread bacteria, become unhealthy. I don't want to list it. You know, he could have segregated that waste and dealt with it appropriately at his own house. He could have composted the wet and organic waste. He could have sold much of the dry waste, paper, metal, glass, etc. He would have even got some income out of it. He could have handed over other items like plastic or electric bulb or electronic waste to the material recovery facility of the local self-government. Waste cannot be completely avoided very easily. We can reduce, recycle, etc., but it cannot be completely avoided. So you have to deal with it intelligently and scientifically. And the most important point to be taken, the most important point to be kept in mind is this: waste should be kept segregated at source, always. Segregation, I underline the word. Imagine a clumsy bowl of waste where wet waste, food remains, paper pieces, hair, plastic bags, and all the stuff are mixed up. This is terrible mess of a waste. Helpless waste, I call it. You cannot do anything with it. This is completely messed up and complicated waste. Instead, think about a situation where this waste is segregated and kept separately. It is important to separate waste at source itself. Once waste is mixed up, it is extremely difficult to segregate it is in any meaningful manner. In olden times, partially segregated or non-segregated waste was used as landfills in many places. But over the past few years, more and more people are opposing landfills because landfills are proving to be insecure and dangerous sites. Emissions of methane and similar greenhouse gases have been reported from many cities in landfill areas. Gradually, zero landfill is becoming the slogan of modern cities. Let us look at segregation a little more closely. In a way, it's very simple. The first division should be between wet and dry waste. Wet and dry waste. Wet waste is otherwise known as organic waste. This includes all kinds of biodegradable waste like food remains, vegetable remains, non-vegetarian waste, chicken, fish, bones. Every household produces such waste on a day-to-day basis. This waste can easily be converted into biogas using biogas plants or into nutritious compost that can be used as manure for your plants. In fact, the organic waste can easily go back to soil or nature and become part of nature's various cyclic processes. Carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, I will not go into the details. This kind of process happens in nature regularly. Look at flowers and leaves that regularly fall down. Soil automatically absorbs them. Composting is in a way mimicking this natural process. There are countless number of bacteria in the nature who specialize in decomposing organic waste and other material. In mechanisms like biocompost and biogas plants, we engage bacteria systematically to help us transform waste back into resource. Once we deal with the organic waste, which constitutes around 60 to 70% of the total waste generated in Indian cities, then we are left with dry waste or inorganic waste. Dry waste is not a single category, as you know. Look at some of the more important categories of dry waste like plastic, cloth, paper, glass, tins, cans, electric bulbs, and other electric waste, electronic waste, rubber, tire, leather, metallic waste, hazardous waste, poisonous waste. The list goes on and on. In olden times, people used to gather all these together and hand over to waste pickers. They'll pick up items that can be used for different purposes. For example, there are different grades of papers and glass which can directly go into recycling industries. Now, most of the local self governments have improved the dry waste collection facilities considerably, especially in states like Kerala. There are organizations like cities that segregate who are promoting scientific and systematic segregation. In Kerala, local self-governments like Trivandrum Municipal Corporation have been making path-breaking progress in segregated collection of solid waste. Trivandrum Corporation has a unique collection calendar for solid waste collection. They collect everything from used medicinal strips separately, used chappals and bags another day, used cloth waste, not to mention about regular items like plastic, glass, metal, etc., etc. The intervention of agencies like Haritha Kerala Mission and Shujitva Mission, most of the local self-governments are consistently proving their capability to segregate and treat solid waste. More effective composting of our waste and more effective and scientific segregation and onward processing of solid waste, this is clearly the path that is emerging in front of us. Lot more participation is required from the side of the citizen and general public for this to succeed. Despite our high standard of education, etc., people still indulge in littering unsegregated waste in public places. This should be opposed morally and legally. Many people still consider that our job is to generate waste. There are people who are of lesser social standing who will pick it up and clear for us. This is nothing less than a peculiar type of casteism which has to be opposed tooth and nail. Our waste should be our responsibility. That should be the slogan for modern society. I'm sure with the sincere involvement of youngsters like you, we'll be able to make this real and move towards a truly zero waste society where even waste becomes a resource. Thank you.